listener. Welcome to the All Over the Place podcast. The only place where, you're not really in one place because you're everywhere.
That was an enigma.
You're an enigma.
Oh, wow. My feelings are hurt. Anyways, don't get too caught up in this intro. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the episode. See you soon.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the All Over the Place.
Okay, I thought I was going to do the intro.
I thought you did the last one.
Maybe. I don't know.
Anyways, welcome back to the All Over the Place podcast. I am one of your hosts for today, Alex.
I'm Alex, too. I've decided to be Alex today.
Oh, did you now? Well, yeah. I'm going to decide to be Ben today, then.
Okay. This is going to get majorly confusing, but...
It's fine.
Yeah. It's all about the fun we have here.
Yeah, we have so much fun.
Yeah, I don't hate every single minute of this.
He's holding me at gunpoint. Someone, please help. Ben gets that reference.
No, I have no idea what the reference is.
No, it's to our old podcast, but that's okay.
I didn't really hear you to begin with, but...
Oh, well, whatever.
Speaking of podcasts, since that's what we're doing right now, we are now on Apple Podcasts and
We've
Spotify.
Been on Apple Podcasts.
No, we haven't.
I thought we have been.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm manually going and at it, so you're welcome. It's on there now, though. So we're on Spotify and Anchor and Apple Podcasts now. Not that it matters because, I'm pretty sure everyone listens on Spotify anyways, which I'm fine with.
Yeah. Who uses Apple Music? Except for like the most diehard of Apple fans.
That's really why I added it for the most diehard Apple fans.
For
the people who, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was what I was going for. Yeah. This podcast is for the rich and bougie. Just, you knew that though.
Sure. Okay then. Awkward silence.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So right. how's your New Year's, Alex?
My New Year's, we went over this last.
I know it was supposed to be a joke. Screw you.
Okay. Should I just dive in with the first topic?
I mean, we could keep killing more time, but I feel like.
All right. So I couldn't think of any moral dilemma or find any.
God.
But
you can't even be serious right now. This is This is the first question, and you're telling me you couldn't figure it out.
Well, no, just hear me out. All right.
I
think this one is equally. I think this one is
equal. Just go for it, man.
All right. So, how old were you when you found? Can you even hear me? He got up from his desk. He's prancing around his room. There he is. All right. So.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you found out that slugs weren't snails without their shell?
What? You wanna? They are or aren't?
They aren't. How old were you when you found that out?
Did you think? Wait, what? Okay, reform your question. Say it again.
That's the question.
No, say it again.
When did you find out? And if you did, how mind blown were you when you found out that slugs were not snails without their shell?
Did you think that they were?
I thought that they were for a good 10 years.
That's just
until
sad.
I was in grade 5, I think. Or grade 4.
That's sad. I feel kind of bad for you, if I'm being honest.
Really? I mean, what is a slug?
Just unintelligent.
They look the same. A slug looks like a snail without its shell. Some of them. Not all of them.
Yeah, I think I just kind of knew and was told the correct thing at the start. I don't. It wasn't.
Wow.
I wasn't like I was sitting here guessing it like I was like someone would be guessing their sexuality. Like I just kind of was like, "What's that? A slug? What's that? A snail? Okay, they're different."
Well, I thought that slugs were snails without their shells.
Well, then they would say that.
Well, but no one ever told me they weren't. So Yeah, imagine how mind blown I was when I found out that frogs started out as tadpoles.
Whoa.
Well, I remember I used to go to, I don't know if you did this when you were little, but Lily Lake or
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? Did you ever go there and try to catch tadpoles
Oh,
and bring them
100%.
back home?
Oh yeah,
Did
yeah.
you
I,
ever
well, I
try to
mean,
bring them back home?
even on because we like my family's had this camp that's been in our family there for generations. My uncle owns it now, but like yeah, we'd always used to catch
Yeah, yeah.
tadpoles down there, or they had this big steel barrel that used to collect
Right.
water, and tadpoles would
Hmm.
just be in it. There was no explanation unless they put them up there just to confuse me. But like there was just a bunch of fucking tadpoles, and I'm like, well, what the fuck?
The frogs jumped in, did their business, and jumped back out.
Oh yeah, that's definitely yeah. This is yeah.
That's how it happened. I'm telling you. I mean, man, frogs, am I right?
Yeah, they put the chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Turn the freaking frogs gay. That's a good song. No, it's not. It
It's not a
sucks. So,
song.
yeah,
They
somebody
made it
memed
into a
it. And
song, but it's just
they made
Alex
it into
Jones
a
going
song.
off.
That's like saying I like corn isn't a song. It is a song.
No, it
Corn.
was some black kid
Do,
talking about
do,
how much he
do,
liked
do.
food.
Whoa, racist.
Was I supposed to say he wasn't black?
Does it matter?
Fair point, but like,
Yeah. Why'd you have to specify?
oh god.
If it was a white kid, would you say some white kid?
Oh,
I'm
probably. I
gaslighting
mean,
you.
think about the yodeling kid.
Yeah, that's fair.
Look, there's a yodeling white kid in Walmart. He's a quirked up white boy with a little bit of swagger, busting it down sexual style.
I remember the first time I saw that. I was in grade 8 in my English teacher's class. You know the teacher. My family's screaming at the top of their lungs. Jesus Christ. But
What?
no,
Wait,
and
what
he put
teacher?
that on
What teacher?
my grade 8 English teacher.
Well, you said you know her, so I just got confused.
No, I said you know who it is.
Oh, I think I.
Not
You
naming
said
names.
she put it on or whatever, so I just.
Yeah, he put it on. It
You
wasn't
said
you.
she. You said she.
Did I?
Yes,
Oh,
you
well,
did.
whatever. Okay, well, the point is, they put it on, and they were telling us that it was actually him trying to sing some blues or something. It's not actually yodeling, it's just voice cracks. I'm not sure how true that is. I never looked into it, and I don't feel like it, but you digging for your phone right
I
now?
am. I gotta find this out. We're taking a break. Why is this now just a moral dilemma question? It wasn't even a moral dilemma question. That's not even a moral dilemma question. Yodeling
Yo,
kid. Was
kid.
he
Is the yodeling
yo
kid dead?
yodeling kid death? The yodeling kid died?
Was the
Yeah, so he sang the
yodeling.
Lovesick Blues.
Okay, so he was, yeah, so it is just voice cracks. That's what I thought. But then, that was the very first time I saw the clip, and that was the only time I
Well, I
ever
mean, he could,
heard
yeah, but
anyone say
he might be yodeling. I mean, who's
he
to
might be.
say?
Who knows? It could just be pubescent voice cracks, also.
You would know. You were the
I,
victim of those voice cracks, as was I at one point, and
oh
still are the
yeah,
victim sometimes, as you are aware.
oh
They never
yeah.
go away.
Hey, don't ever. I don't think until you're like what?
No, they never go
Have gray
away.
hair.
They never go away. I
They
was talking to
don't.
my grandfather, and the man's like
Oh,
72. Voice crack.
I do. I do have a moral dilemma kind of now, or
Oh
like a question
God,
that I want to kind of pose,
you
right?
go for it,
So
man.
this is
I'm not
something
gonna.
that's been brought to my attention since we're on the topic of old people.
Oh boy, go. Just get to the
So
point.
something that I've sat and thought about,
Oh
right?
my
Like a guy
God,
has
ask
gray
the
hair,
damn
right?
question.
I'm asking the question now. A guy has gray hair. Say for example Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds with gray hair.
Yes, he
That
is.
some people
Yep.
see that as making him more attractive in a sense, right? Like
Okay.
men with
Yeah,
gray
yeah.
hair, but then women with gray hair are typically seen as from a social perspective, not like personally or anything like that, right? But typically seen as more like old hags or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Are
women
you
with gray
calling
hair do
women with
not
gray
very
hair
much.
old hags?
No,
Is
no,
that
no,
what
no,
I'm
no, no,
hearing
no.
right
I'm just
now?
saying. I'm
Is
just
that what
saying.
I'm
Women
hearing?
with gray hair are seen differently than men with gray hair. Can you agree or disagree on that?
Yeah,
Like
I can
socially,
agree with
not
you, but
personally,
not necessarily
right?
like
Like this
yeah.
isn't personally. It's just like something that's been brought up because like Well, my sister and my mom bring it up a lot. They're like, "Yeah, dude has gray hair. He's like, distinguished and shit. But if a girl has gray hair, they're seen as, just old." But in my mind, I see a girl with gray hair and like, I'm like, damn, that's one badass. Push through the hardest of times.
Push through the hardest of times. What was the hardest of
Yeah,
times? Just getting older? Like,
yeah, just getting older.
yeah, but men also did that, so
Yeah, but men have it a little bit easier.
that, yeah, sure.
Not maybe not as much anymore, but if you're old enough to have gray hair, you were around when it wasn't. He's muted. He's muted himself. I don't know what
I
he's
was just
doing.
really trying to listen very attentively.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
Who's
man.
that?
That's
Is
my
that your?
sister in
Is
the
that
background as
cricket?
she
Oh, I
barged
thought
in
that was
while I was
cricket.
recording. You're
I
ruining my. I'm gonna
No,
make $1,000,000 someday.
you sound like Howard or like, oh my god, the guy from the first Men in Black movie. You ever see the first Men in Black movie? I don't know what you're saying. I'm
Sorry,
talking
what
about.
was that, Alex? I just
You
got.
ever see the first Men in Black movie?
I haven't seen it. No, I probably should.
No. Have you seen any of them?
I have not,
You've
unfortunately.
never seen a Man in Black movie?
It took you
Man
this
in
long to
Black.
watch The Walking Dead, so why don't you take a number?
It's different. I hate zombies. I had nightmares last night.
Oh boy, this poor child.
Thank you for saying that, though, because now we can segue onto my main topics. That was a perfect segue, because my
Was
main
it?
topics for
Really?
today
What was
are
it?
fears.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But I want to do this in kind of a little bit of an organized sense. We're going to start off with realistic fears, right? Real life things, and then we'll go into fictional things such as monsters or zombies or something like that, right? So we're going to start off with realistic, right? You can get as deep as you want, or you can start it off slow. That's what she said. But whenever you're ready, go for it.
Go for what? Wait, what are you asking me exactly?
Your fear.
My
What
fear?
are your fears? Yeah, you can go how many fears you have, right? Because not everyone. I know everyone's like, "What's your fear?" And people are like, "Blah blah blah," but everyone has multiple fears, right? So like, what are you afraid of?
What am I
It could
afraid
be,
of?
it could be
Ooh.
something like, it could be something as simple as the dark, or it could be something complex as dying alone, right? You can go
Well, I
whichever
mean,
way
I
you
feel
want to.
like everyone's kind of afraid of dying alone. I feel like that's kind of just like universal thing.
Yeah,
I'd
I guess.
really
I feel like
venture to try and find somebody that, you know, isn't afraid to die alone. But unfortunately, as people get older and even people who are together, and most of them, usually one partner dies first, right? So it's like,
yeah,
yeah,
but like
I stop
I
interrupting
feel
me.
like
I'm talking.
sorry, you stopped talking for like a good 2 minutes.
A
So it was like,
2 milliseconds maybe.
oh, whatever.
But yeah, I
But
definitely
like,
say that's one of my. Oh my goodness gracious! Can I not talk? You
go
asked me
ahead,
the
talk.
question, and you're not even letting me proceed.
Go ahead, talk.
My fear is just of you interrupting me all the time. Jesus Christ! You're just okay. Can I talk?
Hurry
I
up!
you
Yes.
Is there something that you need to get to right now? Is there some
No, I've
rush?
muted my microphone. Stop doing this. Just continue talking.
Anywho, next fear would probably be for me, um, just of no one knowing I existed. You know what I mean? Not making a mark. Not necessarily making a mark, but just being alone, I guess. Not being alone as in the sense of like presently I'm alone in my room. Just
Right.
of, not having anybody.
I
Basically,
think.
that's probably my biggest fear. Or if I hurt somebody by,
Right.
being too obnoxious, which must say has happened on several occasions. It's all been resolved, but sometimes I take things too far, and that's my own fault. But yeah, that's where I'm at for like my fears. I don't really have any big fears. Heights, not really. I don't know. I'm not even really that scared of like death.
Bro, you're
necessarily.
jumping from topic to topic. Calm down a second. Let's
Bro,
talk
we're
about these
all
things.
talking about the same. These are, you asked me what my fears are.
Yeah, and you're like
And
blah
the
blah
whole
blah
name of
blah
the
blah blah.
podcast is all over the place, so I'm allowed to go
Right.
all over the
So,
place on my answers, so stop
well,
judging me. If
what
you
I
want to
was
go back to
thinking
common sense,
was
you can go back to common sense, but don't bring that shit in here.
what? No. So like about the alone thing is something you were getting more to, as in like leaving your mark. Holy shit. That wasn't lovely. But as in leaving their mark, like something like, I don't know, not having grandchildren or something, or someone like later on down the road being like, "That's my grandpa" or something like that. You know what I mean? Like not having a
Well,
legacy. Is
kind of.
that more what you
Well, yeah, kind of. I think it's a part of that is just wanting to be remembered for literally anything or having. I think it's
right?
more just having someone out there that like knows I exist and cares that I exist, but not
Right.
having that. Then it's like, well, what's the point of not having if you don't have anybody in your life at all? That's my biggest fear of having no one who gives a thought to you.
Yeah. Do you think it matters once you die? Like, is that a thing for you? Like, once you die, do you want people to remember you? Like,
I like there to be some memory, yeah. So I kind of want to like have a family and be able
right?
to
Yeah.
continue so someone has semblance of me because like when everyone else around me dies, which will happen eventually, which is the sad part, but
It
when
is
everyone
terrible.
around me
Yeah.
dies, but at the same time it's like I'm dead and I will be dead, and I never know. You'll never know what's on the aftermath of death until you get. And I'm not even gonna get into all
Yeah.
those
We're
ideologies
not getting into religion today.
or anything otherwise. But
No. You can believe what you want to believe. That's it.
yeah, we're
That's where I leave
inclusive
it.
here,
We're
at,
very inclusive.
all over the
Like, I
place.
mean, I know when I tell a lot of people I'm Christian, they automatically like, I'm not trying to victimize myself or anything, but they automatically go like, "Oh, you're homophobic or you're not accepting of other Man, I'm the most accepting bitch you'll ever meet, all right? I don't give two shits. As long as you're not trying to kill me, we'll get along."
Really? So with the people you don't get along with, does that mean they've tried to kill you?
Oh, on multiple occasions.
Really? Like, why don't you give me your biggest like scare in terms of someone trying to kill you? Like, what did they
My
do?
biggest scare in terms of someone trying to kill you? Well, there was this one kid, right? We were in art class, and I was about to see Avengers Endgame the next day. But then, out of nowhere, right? You're like, "Okay, guys, don't spoil anything. Alex is about to see it tomorrow," right? And then out of nowhere, this random kid comes up to me, right? And he pins me against the wall, and he leans into my ear, and he goes, "Iron Man dies." And so I turn around, smack him against the wall, and he starts punching me in the face, and I throw him on the table, and he pulls out a knife, right? Middle of our class, right? Stabs me right in the elbow, right? So I'm like swinging at him, punching him. I punch him in the face, throw him on the ground. He's like, chill, dude. It was just a prank." And, yep, that's why I'm on a watch list.
A watch list for what?
Ever heard of Amber Alert? There's this other thing called spoiler alert, where someone spoils something, I can hear it from a 20-mile radius.
God,
Spoil anything, I run up to you and I stab you. Very hypocritical for me, almost spoiling Wakanda Forever in the first episode. I know. Shut up.
jeez.
You remember that? You were there to witness it, right, Ben?
I was on the Discord call. Yes.
No, no, no. You were there
Oh,
on
oh, I was in the
when the kid
room.
tried to
Oh,
kill
yeah,
me. Yeah,
you.
when the kid tried to kill me.
Oh my goodness! After he said that too, you lost your goddamn mind.
I did. He told me Iron Man dies. I was going to see the movie in less than 24 hours. The biggest like cinematic event arguably of all time. I think it's
Of
like
our
not even
lifetime, yeah, sure.
our lifetime at least. I
Which
don't
may
know.
be short if the world ends. Who knows
Who
what's gonna
knows?
happen in our life? Like,
We don't know. It's
oh,
surprising that COVID, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. We survived. Like, I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, but we are progressing through COVID pretty decently, I'd say. Especially, I don't know how it is all around the world, and I don't want to assume anything, but where we live, right, there's like no restrictions anymore. Do you even have to be vaccinated to do anything anymore? I'm not anti-vax or anything. I'm just
I'm not
asking a question.
sure about the vaccine part. I'm not really sure where we're at in terms of that. I'm not sure about travel or coming into Canada. I don't think
Yeah.
it's a big thing anymore, which is
No.
which is it's not to say that like I think people honestly I believe people should be vaccinated if you can. It
Right.
prevents spread. It prevents you from getting sick. Like it
Right.
and if you don't believe it,
But it
you
gives
don't
you
believe
autism.
it. Uh
No,
don't
I'm
even
just
get me
kidding. Just
started
kidding.
on that.
Just kidding.
I'm no doctor, but like come on. It
It's so stupid.
just I'm not even gonna I don't want anybody
As-
attacking me. I'm just gonna float along as
Okay.
a peaceful bee in the nest of life. Maybe some
See,
chaos here and there, but I don't really want anyone attacking me that is gonna come up with me and tell me about vaccines. I don't have the energy for it. I don't have the energy really for those kind of people at all.
right.
Like they just
Oh.
you know what I mean? You
See,
can't have like where
they're on
they
the
don't
list.
they're on the list.
They're on the list of people who try to kill me if they're not vaccinated. You know what I mean? Higher chance.
You
Technically,
think people who don't get vaccinated are just
by
having like an
uh
attack on you?
oh yeah, 100%. Because like if they're not vaccinated, then it's higher risk. Either way, the safest way is to both be vaccinated, right? Like I mean, I'm not. That was started out as a joke, but in all seriousness, if you can, get vaccinated. It's safer for everyone, not just you.
Yeah, and if you don't want to get vaccinated or you can't, that is perfectly. No one's sitting here making you get vaccinated. Well,
I
I
will.
mean, the Canadian government definitely forced people to get vaccinated. They kind of made it pretty hard. It wasn't
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? You could still do some stuff.
It
I
wasn't like they
mean,
forced you to. It's just if you wanted to
oh,
have a
well, they
life.
played. Yeah, if you wanted to enjoy the life that you built for yourself, you had to get vaccinated. And I'm not saying that's my stance on things, but they definitely made it a little bit difficult for that. Anyways, on to my point about like not being able to deal with people. It's not that I necessarily don't
Right.
want to talk to them because I mean I know people like that, and it's not that I'm gonna sit here and disrespect. Obviously, we have clashing beliefs, but at the same time, you're a human being, and I'm not gonna be an ass. I'll listen to
Are
whatever you
you
have to
talking about
say,
me?
and no.
Okay.
You are relatively fine in that regard, but the same thing. If someone has
Relatively
opposing belief,
fine. What do
sometimes
you
we have
mean?
opposing beliefs, but I never like sit here
What?
and judge anyone for it unless it is so unbelievably wrong. Like if we're gonna sit here and talk about like terrorism and other shit, that's where I draw the line. But if someone wants to sit here and tell me that the Earth is flat, whatever. You believe whatever you want to believe. If you want to believe they spent all the time faking it for some reason, you go for it. I'm not going to sit here and be an ass. I'm not going to sit here and try and argue with you because you believe what you believe and I believe what I believe. And
You're not
regardless if
hurting anyone. It's just beliefs.
no,
That's
no one
that's where I
exactly.
like. That's why the vaccination thing gets to me more than anything else is because you are hurting people, whether you want to believe it or not. Right? In a sense, you are. Even you could also just think of it as you're not vaccinated, you can't go out and do anything, you're hurting yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely like
Yeah.
definitely right. You're definitely well. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like you're doing it to yourself, but you're not. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be in this situation. And I mean, some people can't get them for health reasons, and that is perfectly
Right. Oh
understandable.
yeah.
And I'm not gonna
Like
sit
I
here and
know.
say that, oh, too bad, so sad. But it's just some people use it as a thing to just not get it. Oh, this person can't get a vaccine. That means I'm not gonna get one because it means
Yeah.
they can't. Their body can't handle it. Our bodies must not be able to handle it. Like when it comes to masks, like
Oh my god. Don't
don't
get me
even.
started on
It's just like
masks.
you
We're
need a
not
mask
going
to
there.
go in somewhere. Just put one on. If you can't wear it, then don't go in. Don't sit here. Like I've had multiple people come up to me where I work, and it's
Yeah.
just like I don't have a mask. Well, I can't let you. It's not me. You know what I mean? It's not. I can't
Yeah.
do anything about it. It's just you. If you're not wearing one, I can't let you in. It's not me being taking away your rights. You,
Right.
you know what I mean? Other people have rights too. If people don't want to get sick, that is their right. But
Oh
at the
yeah,
same time, it's such a.
100%.
I feel like everything we talked about so far is the moral dilemma. of the
of
episode
vaccines.
of like vaccines and masks, and I don't want to say
It is
anything
such a hard
ridiculously
topic
controversial
because,
because I
like,
don't want to, this coming back to bite me in the ass later. So, but yeah, it's
right,
just like, but the same thing, like I was saying, that if people have the right not to be sick and don't want to be sick, then why are they out?
obviously, right? Like,
And,
I
and
mean,
it's hard. It is a
it
hard
is
thing to talk about and
because, like, I
take
remember,
stances on it. I believe what I believe. I believe people should wear masks. I believe I'm gonna wear a mask if I require to or if I'm sick, and you know what I mean, just for the safety of others. It's not necessarily protecting me as much as it's protecting you. I'd be grateful if you decided to wear a mask and whatever, but it's
right,
not. It's, you know what I mean. I'm not gonna sit here and try and force you to wear one. And in those situations people want to get in, it's not me forcing you to get one. I'm just being told I can't let you in by someone else. If
right.
and it's not even those people, like even my managers and stuff, and even like the big people. It's not even their choice half the time.
No,
Someone down
it
the
was a
line has
law.
made, and
It
yes,
was it
exactly.
was a literal fucking law. If you weren't vaccinated or didn't have a mask on, you couldn't do anything. That was the law. It was as much a law as don't drive and drink, as much law as don't fucking rob a bank. You know what I mean? As much law as don't murder, right? There were consequences for not doing it. Those consequences meaning you couldn't do anything, or be a Karen, and then once the manager calls, you get arrested. But
Yeah, I wouldn't say that not wearing a mask is the same as murder.
well, no, but it's as much a law
Oh yes,
in
no, it
the
was
sense of a
definitely.
law.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
not
it
saying
was in
no. It's not.
place.
If you're not wearing a mask, you're not murdering anybody. Who knows, right? But you're obviously not. It's not the same impact as murdering someone. What I was saying was it's the same thing. You're breaking the law. It's breaking the law, no matter which way you wanna shoot your pool ball. That's a new thing I just made up.
Yeah,
Start
it's
saying shoot
definitely,
your
yeah,
pool
it was
ball.
definitely a law, but I don't even think they really enforced it enough. Like, I mean, it's not like if you're not gonna get arrested here if you walk into a store. But like, I remember I was working one day, and people who weren't social distancing, peace officers were in giving people tickets of like $175 for people who weren't social distancing. And it's not, you're not impeding on it. That's not impeding on someone's. These are restrictions and rules and laws in place, and if you break those things, then you are gonna get a fine. It's not, they're not making you be
Right.
here. That's the
I
thing.
think.
That's where we step off the moral dilemma plane and jump into actual facts. And that if you
Right.
don't do what is like legal and required of you, then you're gonna face consequences to that. That's not
Right.
someone restricting on your rights. You can't sit there and hug your friend. Too bad we're in a goddamn pandemic. Do it in the goddamn safety of your own home. But even then, you weren't even allowed to go into other people's houses.
Have you seen the movie Pandemic?
I have not. What is it about? I've
So
never heard of it.
there's
I'm
you've
not.
heard of it.
I've never heard of the movie. I don't.
You never heard of Pandemic?
I've
So
never heard of
it's
Pandemic.
well, are you sure? It was going around like it came out in I think 2007 or something, but back when COVID first came out. Holy shit, back when. That was like 3 years ago. Jesus
That was
Christ.
way too long ago.
I know where has the time gone, but uh yeah, when COVID first came out, it was a movie. They threw it on Netflix, and everyone was watching it, right? Because it was a thing a lot of the world could relate to. And just to sidetrack here for a
I don't
millisecond,
know. I
as
think
bad
Tiger
as
King was a little bit more relatable.
shut up. I never saw Tiger King, and I
Neither did
never want
I,
to.
but I feel like some of those pandemic shows had a little bit more impact in the movie Pandemic, considering I never heard about it.
I can't believe you never heard about it. I do not believe. Like, I mean, I do believe that. I'm just befuddled. I guess you never watched the news or anything like that, because it was even on the news. Like, it skyrocketed in streaming when the pandemic first hit. Because like, as bad as COVID
Yeah.
was, I think it. There was a beautiful sadness that came out of it, where when it first hit, a lot of the world came together. Right, like you could go on right, like you could go on Facebook, and there would be people, right, like just making like Facebook lives of them just like playing guitar and singing, and like or like talking about it and being like, you know what I mean? When COVID first hit, I think the world all came together for a second and was like, guys, this could be it. I love you, man. right? Like the world came together for a split second there, I think, at the beginning of COVID and like that first few months before like the restrictions were heavily impeded and people were like, I don't wear a mask. Before that, I think the world was in a state of shock and panic, but at the same time, people were trying to comfort each other and things, and I think that was a beautiful thing that happened. Right. But going back to Pandemic, it's a pretty good movie. I would recommend watching it. One of the main reasons why it skyrocketed was because the reason the pandemic happens in that movie is bat soup or pig soup or something like that. A girl eats a soup. I'm pretty sure it was like a pig eating a bat or something in China, and then right. So it was very much a lot like COVID in the sense that there was the main antagonist, Jude Law. Obviously, the main antagonist was the pandemic, but the main like human antagonist, who was played by Jude Law, was like a conspiracy theorist on Twitter, telling people not to take the vaccines and don't wear masks and shit. In the movie, they proceed to have to wear hazmat suits to go outside, so it gets a bit more in depth. Where was I going with this? Yeah, so when you were mentioning the hugging thing, back when the pandemic first hit, right? I was a naive child, not that young of a child, but still young enough to ask questions. And there's a scene in the movie where Mark Wahlberg, who's one of the main characters, his daughter, right? She hasn't seen her boyfriend in like I think a year or two since that pandemic hit, and so they meet up and they like start making out. And Mark Wahlberg, as the father, comes out of nowhere and throws him off her and is like, "What are you doing? Get out of here! Get out of here!" And at the time, I was so confused, and then my parents had to explain to me like he could be spreading a virus at the moment, and that's a no-no. No matter, you know what I mean? Which was a thing that kind of I was like, oh, okay then, and that's when it really settled in for me how risky a pandemic was. I remember the pandemic is what jump started a lot for you and me. It jump started. I remember after that few weeks of school, or that school was let out. You came over to my house and we. What are you doing? You're not even paying attention
I am
to me.
paying attention. I'm just trying to find the movie because I don't see Mark Wahlberg in this at all.
Mark Wahlberg's in Pandemic. It might be Matt Damon. I might be getting that wrong. I get them mixed up a lot. Don't hate me. Pandemic.
I don't really
Hold
see
on.
any big names in this, to be honest. It kind of just looks like a B-rated
Not the
film.
2016 one, the 2000. No, not 2009. What? When did it come out? No, what? Was it not called Pandemic? What was
I
it
have a
called?
feeling it wasn't called Pandemic. I'm not seeing anything here.
Hold on. Is it not called Pandemic? I
Imagine
swear.
you've went on all this time about this movie and you didn't have that fucking name right. Imagine how
Oh man.
embarrassing that would be for you.
I'm gonna find out what this movie is. Let's go on Matt Damon's IMDb page because I'm pretty sure he was in that movie.
Was he?
Do
I
do do
really
do do
hope
do.
that he was. I really hope he was in the movie and you're not just
I
being a
really
complete
hope he was in the.
buffoon.
I will feel like a complete buffoon. Do, do,
As you
do, do, do,
rightfully
do.
should. I mean, come on. Give me one
Is
moment
this
while I
Mandela?
cough.
Is this a? Is this a Mandela effect? This movie came out. I remember. Hold on.
This might be a
Pandemic
case of the
New
Mandela effect. Can you
Yorkers.
imagine?
Contagion. That's the name of the movie.
Okay, well, I've heard of that one. Yeah, this came out in 2011. Why would I even, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Oh, I'm
okay,
sorry. I
there
got the
you
name
go.
wrong.
Oh my
Contagion.
god, you are a moron.
I am. Whoever's watching. Oh my god, the listeners. The listeners must have been like, "Bro, you have the wrong movie." I thought it was called Pandemic. My apologies. I haven't seen it since the pandemic started. Contagion. That's the name of the movie. I couldn't even find it on Mark Wahlberg's. I'm Matt. It is Matt Damon. Okay. I don't know why I get those two mixed up. I just do.
They
But
are
I
not the same
cannot tell you
person.
why.
I will
I know they're
I
not
will
the same
tell you
person.
that they are definitely not
I
the
don't.
same person.
I don't know why. Those are the only two. I think those are the only two actors I ever get mixed up. Oh my god, I feel like such a buffoon. Anyways, it made for a funny little bit. That was just a bit. I was just pretending to be stupid. I knew the movie was called Contagion and that it was Matt Damon and not Mark Wahlberg. Please don't kill me.
I got the spoiler alert effect here. Yeah,
What?
I got the
My
spoiler
headphones
effect. I'm
fell off.
going to come and kill you now. I mean, obviously you got two actors messed up, so like,
Oh my god. Ah, I hate myself for that.
I'm gonna
Hold on.
off you like a Jewish foreskin.
Wow. Okay, try. Okay, so I think let's get into the other kind of fears. Let's get into fictional fears. Let's dabble in that for a minute. Halfway through the episode. Let's dabble in fictional fears. Let's see where this takes us.
Oh, fictional
I
fears.
never talked about
There's
my fears.
Yeah, you.
Wow.
Okay, well, we're past that part, so you don't get to
Okay.
talk now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We're gonna get on
Continue.
to fictional. Oh God, there's so many things that are so fucked up. Oh, aliens have got to be definitely the fictional most fictional
Aliens?
fear.
You think
Yes,
you think that if there's
aliens.
aliens they're bad? Are you being racist?
They're no.
Do you think
Wow,
all
that
aliens
is.
are evil? I'm gaslighting you so much this
It's
episode,
just like
Jesus
I
Christ.
mean, there's AI and there's like zombies and all this stuff, but like
Oh, AI is fucking terrifying. to
oh,
me.
AI, but at the
That's a
same time, we are
realistic fear,
so
too.
yes, it is realistic, but obviously they play it up way too heavily in movies.
Oh
AIs
yeah,
have to
it's
sit
not
here
gonna
and
be like
learn for so long. Like half the big AIs you see, like that one that was on like what Ellen or whatever. It's not like
yeah,
they just put it on there and it started talking and knew everything. No, that AI had to sit here and collect data for God knows how long. It's not
right.
they need to get this information. Eventually, they will speed up and have like the power of a supercomputer. But I think we're way far off that. Can I see it happening sometime in the next 30 years? Maybe, but I
Right.
feel like there is precautions and stuff in place just because it happened in the Terminator, which is a fictional movie, might I add. Which I feel like if you didn't
Have
know
you ever
that,
seen Terminator?
I haven't seen Terminator either.
Neither have I. I've only
Good.
seen. I've
There's
only
a lot
seen
of
that
old
one that
movies I
came
haven't
out.
seen. I really gotta. There's a lot of good
What
movies out there that I haven't seen, and I really gotta get in there and get my
was it? Terminator
toes in the
Salvation? Was that the one I saw?
toes as he
I'm not
ponders
gonna
the
do this
Mandela
again. I
effect.
don't know what Terminator movie I saw, and I'm not gonna pretend like I know which one it was. I'm not gonna do that
No,
again.
but yeah, I definitely
I
gotta
do know.
say aliens are probably the scariest. Not even just like beasts that will come and just like eat you. I'm talking about like
Right.
the highly intelligent class of aliens that will just come and like make your brain explode when they tell you one thing about the universe. Like you know what
Right.
I mean? Like that's the
So like
scary part
those.
for me, not because they're just big and they're scary, but just their ability to instill fear just just by talking is more of my fear of
Right.
aliens.
I don't know that reminds me of Cthulhu in a sense. That fear you're going on, because like Cthulhu and a lot of those Lovecraftian creatures, a lot of them are like you look at Cthulhu and it's the fact that you can't comprehend what you're looking at that kills you. Cthulhu is very cool. Never read a single Lovecraftian book, but Cthulhu really it's really cool to me. Don't know anything about it though, except for like that factor. And that it's in Terraria. Brandon told me that one.
Yeah, shout out to Brandon, by the way.
He will be here next time.
Yes, he will be, and he better bring us
I,
some juicy topics.
he
And
better.
if he doesn't,
We
let's just
will.
hope he's
Spoiler
circumcised.
alert him. Yep, that too. Wait, why do we hope he is?
No,
Ben?
he's gonna hope he's circumcised.
Why?
Don't
What are we
ask.
gonna do?
Well, nothing if he's circumcised.
Oh, so if he is, then he's fine. But if he is, and we are gonna make it so he is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Ah, how would we go about doing that?
I will call upon the power of Cthulhu, the aliens of a higher civilization.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I think I'm. Yeah, as you can't tell, if you can't tell already, I got most of these topics from watching the latest show I've gotten into. But my
No,
number one
there's
fictional.
literally nothing that anyone would ever pick up. You're just talking about fears. How would
Right,
anyone
but
even
the
make that
fictional fears.
connection?
Hold on, fictional fears. Then you can make the connection,
The
right?
only
My
thing
number one
is,
fictional fear is zombies. You know this.
yeah, but
Number
you
one
didn't
fictional fear of
make
all
a big
time.
enough point about zombies to begin with.
I
I
didn't because
Oh,
fictional fears is the
100%
second
zombies are
topic.
definitely scary. I feel like
Because like I
everyone.
think, hold on, like the main thing that gets to me about zombies, right? Here's the thing: apocalypse happens, right? You have three ways out, realistically. You either off yourself, right? Or you get eaten alive, which would be absolutely terrifying. I'm only on season 2 of that show, and Jesus
In
Christ,
case you haven't been
it's
able to
very
tell, he's on The
realistic.
Walking Dead.
We talked about this earlier.
Did we?
Yeah,
Are you
you were like,
sure?
"Well, you're the one who took too long to watch The Walking Dead," so. Well,
Yeah, but
this
I
was
don't know
before we
if
started recording.
I feel like this might have been a
Well, I'm watching.
conversation beforehand. But anyways, yes, he's talking about
Anyways,
his new
yeah,
love for a very good show, which if you guys haven't watched, should go watch. Even if you don't like zombies and apocalypse, it's just such a good
I
show.
hate zombies. Cause like, man, I'm, I had nightmares last night, and I just started it yesterday, right? Cause like you either off yourself, get eaten alive, but I think the main one that gets to me is turning into one. Like, are you
Ooh,
still
that's a
conscious?
big one, yeah.
Cause like, I'm not gonna spoil anything for the show, but just like in the general terms of zombies, do you think that like with the main concept of it, we do need to divide what we define zombies as here, right? Because there's the supernatural, right? The dead come back to life out of the graves, and then there's the virus thing, right? The more scientific, it's still fictional and more in the supernatural, but the more scientifical standards of zombies, like I'm not gonna spoil. I'm trying to think of a movie that's old enough, but I can't really think of anything to relate that to. Uh, but you know what I mean, right? So are we talking like supernatural, the dead come back to life out of the graves on a Halloween night, or are we talking like there's a virus going around
Well,
kind of
even
thing?
thinking about like take COVID for example. Ooh.
Oh man, that one scared me. I'm not. I remember way back when, not that long ago, but it also is. Uh, I remember specifically when I first heard that COVID hit New Brunswick. Did I just dox ourselves? Nah, wasn't specific enough. I remember when COVID first hit home, right? And I was sitting
You
there
already
in my
said the name of the province we
bedroom.
live in.
Whatever. But I remember sitting there in my bedroom, and I legitimately thought to myself, is this it? I'm not even joking. I don't know if you had those thoughts or anything, but I sat there for a good like 20 minutes being like, am I gonna get COVID and die?
Oh, well,
And
yeah, seeing the
when I
amount of
did get
people that
COVID,
had died. Oh, yeah,
right?
there was definitely a fear of that getting to
When you
me.
got it,
And
did you have that fear?
no, I at that point I knew
No?
I was going to be fine, but definitely there was some people who I thought were going to get it and weren't going to make it. But luckily enough, all the people that I thought that were going to make it, that got it, actually, surprisingly all made it. So,
Were there some you didn't want to make?
Jesus Christ, no. I'm talking about like family members here. I don't hold
Ow!
enough hate in my heart to hope that someone
Ow!
would die from something like COVID unless you're like I
No.
said, like a very, very bad person.
There are some very, very
Oh,
bad
there's some
people.
very, very bad people.
Oh
But
no, what's your definition of a very, very bad person? Osama bin Laden, easily.
yeah, people like that. Like
Yeah,
just like
yeah. Like just
people who
I don't
just
know.
want to instill chaos and everything. Like
People who are just
evil.
people who just kill for no reason. Like the
Just
evilness of it.
yeah.
Like I mean, serial killers are one that really gets me because like I watch a lot of these things. Like interviews with serial killers. I like watching them for some reason. And then just some of them are very remorseful, right? Which doesn't make me feel sorry for them in the slightest bit, but at least they have the remorse and at least they're saying sorry and stuff, right? So at least they know what they did is wrong. But then there's the others that just sit there and laugh, right? Like, oh my God, I can't remember his name, but on the younger side, and in the interview, when they asked why he killed, he just smiled and hid his smile. And to me, that's like pure
Ooh, that
evil,
is
evil in its
even
purest form,
that is just scary. Like even
right?
thinking
Because
back to
like,
like people like Jeffrey Dahmer or like, obviously he got really popularized when the Netflix show dropped, but I think he's definitely probably dropped off a bit. That's a whole other bucket of worms, that whole show, which isn't like a terrible watch, but I feel like everyone has it confused with like true
it's
crime,
real.
and then it's not like watching Forensic Files here. You're watching a
No,
drama show about, and
right,
it's not like they do it in a way where you're supposed to try and feel bad for Jeffrey, but he's not.
they
You
do.
can.
That's
That's
why I stopped
the whole
watching.
thing of the show. And then there was a good chunk of people who were sympathizing with him, and it's like, are you kidding me? You can't. That's why the show is very, controversial. Not even just for like the
Right,
victims, but just how people are able to take such an evil individual and insane and psychotic and a
right,
bunch of
and twist
adjectives
it.
and twisted and evil individual and
Right.
sit here and try and sympathize and justify what he did.
I think it's a bit different for fictional characters though, because like,
Oh, 100%.
oh, this
That's
is I'm
definitely
gonna get
different.
hate for this one. I'm gonna get hate for this one, but 13 Reasons Why did a very good job at making me feel for Bryce Walker in the last season he was in. They did it. I think that's probably like, if anyone ever wants to talk to me about a villain that I somehow sympathized with, it's easily Bryce Walker, right? Because you can see him trying to do good. Granted, he did horrible things, right? And not to sideline any of that, but you can see he's remorseful, and you see they don't throw him as, ooh, this little sad crybaby. Instead, he's trying to make amends, right? Which
But
I
is
got
he
into three
trying to make
episodes.
amends because he feels bad or because he wants his life back?
I don't know.
That's the
I need
whole
to.
thing.
I'm
That's
gonna.
where I don't agree with you. That's why I can't sit here and agree with you, because you never it as much as you want to believe his motivation is good, it's not. When you have someone who's done shit like that, it's really really hard for
Right.
me to sit here and believe that they have any shred of remorse, or
Oh,
if he's
obviously,
just
right?
sitting here because obviously his life was ruined. So
Right.
I've got to sit here and think that he's obviously trying to get that back, but
Yes, and you can see
it's a
that.
lot
Right.
easier to sit here and apologize and expect everything to go your way.
Right. I need to rewatch that because I'm not sure what his motives were. I remember at the time I did sympathize with him, and hate me all you want for that. It's a fictional character. What he did was absolutely horrendous and evil. It's one of the worst crimes you can do. Right. So like, but just like, I think the one scene that really got to me was when he was painting with his mother or whatever. So that really got to me. Where
Oh,
are you texting me in?
I'm not texting you in anywheres, man. I'm just sitting
Oh, I
here
just got a
watching you.
Discord notification. Huh,
There you
don't know
go.
what
Way
that's
to
from.
interrupt the
Anyway,
podcast to tell me
well, I
you got
thought
a
you were telling me to
notification.
shut up or something,
I
so
would
I don't
never
know.
do that. What are you
Okay,
talking
but
about?
back to Jeffrey Dahmer, right? I got through 3 episodes of that show, and by episode 3, I got the gist of it. Jeffrey Dahmer is a real person who committed real horrific crimes. He drugged people, killed them, and then he ate them. And the show goes about this way of, granted, I haven't finished it, but 3 episodes in, you establish, within 3 episodes of a show, you establish what you're going for, or you should at least, right?
I think in
Unless
the
if you're
first
lost and just,
episode you kind of establish what
well,
you're
yeah.
going for here. It's not
Oh, I think the first
they
episode of
they
Dahmer
don't
was the best.
they
Because the first episode, they weren't really going for a sympathetic route, I don't think. In the first episode, they establish what he's done. I think the first episode of Dahmer is a masterclass. If that was it and it was a short film, I would love it. I loved the first episode of Dahmer. As horrible as it is, I think it did a really good job at depicting how he did his crime. You know what I mean? And
mm,
like, I was sitting there on the edge of my seat because I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I don't know any of the names or anything until the show came out. I didn't even know Jeffrey Dahmer existed. Actually, I might have. I don't know. I just can't really recall knowing
oh, I
about
think
him
a
that much,
lot of
right?
people kind of discovered Jeffrey Dahmer after that show came out. I
Like,
don't think it was for a lot of people it wasn't any mystery. Like, I mean, people older than us. I think it's also just because of our age really that we didn't.
right. Well, because like I knew about Zodiac way back when I was in
Oh
grade
well,
5,
well, yeah, but there's ones, yeah, but I mean that's just a self discovery. No one like if you had no
or Son of
reason to know about
Sam.
Jeffrey Dahmer,
Yeah, like I
and I
mean,
mean like
um,
I like watching like true crime, not
oh
because
yeah,
I
I like
enjoy
watching
it, but
Forensic
like
Files.
yeah, it's just
I
interesting to
like
see
watching
what they
how they
can.
caught it.
Yeah, exactly. It's so interesting to see how they can take nothing and completely build up a case. It
Oh yeah,
forensic evidence has completely saved a lot of people. Not save them,
even
but
if
just
it
give
takes
them.
years,
Well, and yeah, and some of that stuff it takes like years before they're able to get the technology to do it. And
because
the
like
good thing about it is we're gonna always keep improving
right,
and
because like
stopping crime.
some of those crimes in Forensic Files, right, they happened in like the 70s, and they didn't have the correct technology, and then right, like 20 years later, boom, we got him. Right, that's another thing. Like Zodiac, here's where I differentiate it. Right, Dahmer, I'm gonna say I can't say it's a bad show, right? Television wise, it's pretty good. I think where they really mess up though is, granted they are telling the story of his life, but where they really mess up is trying to make him a sad boy who's just out on it for revenge because his parents left him. I think that's what, I can't tell if that's what they're going for, but that's how it comes across.
If the show wasn't based on real life events here, like if it was a fictional character and whatever,
It would
the
be good.
show would be so much better. But even
Right.
watching it and even like liking the way they do the shots and the way they do the scenes and everything,
Hmm.
especially like in the first episode, it's hard to sit here and enjoy it and get that sense of fulfillment when you're watching something when you know that this is stuff that has happened and it's awful.
Because it's not like he just went around killing people. He fucking like he drugged them and then cut them open and you
Oh
know.
well,
Ugh,
he did a lot of
ugh.
stuff like
Were they conscious? I believe they were conscious,
he
right? Or
I
like
don't know. I think he
some
drugged
of
some
them.
of them
I
and
don't
knocked
know.
them out. I don't know, but yeah, he's done some like there was a he did it to a 14-year-old kid, man.
Yeah, I was
It
watching.
just
I think that's episode 3 or something where they show the kid that he like buys beer for,
yeah.
and then lures him into a house, and he gets so close to leaving, right? And I do like. I mean, I think the only reason why Dahmer got away with what he did for so long was because police were naive and I can they were racist, right? Like the woman calling in and stuff, and like it was a predominantly black neighborhood. They even call it crack houses, right? I think it's safe to say that the police just didn't, you know what I mean? Back then, at least, it's safe to say. Not saying that it was right, but it's easy to assume at least that portions of what that got sidelined was at least partially because the policemen were racist, right? Like they just believed the kid was that Dahmer was telling the truth. Ugh, it gets to me.
But
What was they
that's
trying to talk
that
about?
was the thing. Like when you're watching that scene, it's like, come on, get him. He's right there. But then you have that natural lure to the protagonist where it's like, oh, he
Right.
didn't get caught.
Like you for example, is fictional, and that works, right?
Yes,
I don't know. Yeah,
I love you.
I
He's
haven't finished it.
insane,
I've
but
only
he's
seen the
just,
first
yeah, it's
episode,
just you always want to root for him no matter what he does. At some point,
and
I
it
feel
works
like, yeah,
because it's fake.
it's, yeah,
All fake.
I definitely think he
It
can be a
doesn't exist.
hypocrite at
Oh, you mean it
times,
does?
but even then, it's just,
Yeah. Like I mean, murders do happen and shit like that, obviously, but it's a fictional show, right? Uh, I
that's where I
think
think
that
Dahmer failed. They tried to make it like a show like You. I was getting major You vibes when I was
were you?
watching Dahmer. It's just because they did it and the way they did it. It's just, but it's not. You can't take something, turn it
That
into something.
horrendous.
Yeah, you can't take something like that badly that's happened and redo it.
It's in the
It's not the
title.
same
He's a
thing. Yeah,
monster.
it's not even. Yeah, and they're doing more in the Monster Anthology series, which is gonna be a
Oh,
whole
is it an
leather.
anthology series?
Yeah, it is.
Oh fuck.
So I think they said they're doing two more as of right now because it was very popular.
Yeah. Do you know who they're doing it about?
No, I have no idea. But it's
Let's
not.
not search that up right now.
No, I. We can't sit here on our phones halfway through the thing. I just
Yeah.
you can't do it. It's just yeah.
No. You get sidetracked. Zodiac though. Have you seen the Zodiac movie?
I no we've
See,
had conversations about this, but you've told
right.
me how good it is, and
Zodiac,
I'm definitely gonna make it one of my next watches.
right. Zodiac works because they don't the reason why Zodiac works is because they never caught the killer, right? So they can show these killings, but they can't make you feel anything towards the Zodiac killer. There's no way for them to write that you like never see the Zodiac killer in in that movie. I'm not gonna try to spoil to anything else, but it's kind of the same thing as spoiling Dahmer, I guess, in the sense that it actually happened. But they
Yeah,
focus
you
more
can't
on
sit
like
here and spoil Dahmer. It's not some cinematic experience. It's just a thing.
right,
But also, I think a part of
but
the
like
reason a lot of people like even just true crime in general, and people like the Zodiac, is because you want to know what
right.
makes them tick.
That's the thing about Zodiac. I think Zodiac it's my second favorite film of all time, right? Or third. I don't know, it flips between it and Spirited Away all the time. But it's so good. Try your best to go into that movie blind, right? You obviously know, oh, he's going to survive, whatever, you know that. But the way they perceive it, because it's all told through the eyes of the guy who wrote a book about the Zodiac killer, and he started out as a Jake Gyllenhaal's character. He started out as a cartoonist for the paper or whatever that the Zodiac killer wrote too, right? So it's very much it tells the story of the Zodiac killer, but it's not telling the Zodiac killer's story, if that makes any sense. It's telling the events that happened, and it does an amazing job at doing it. Oh my god. I haven't seen Seven yet. See, that's where we differentiate. You haven't seen Zodiac, I haven't seen
You
Seven.
gotta watch Seven.
But
It's
I
a
think that's another
good,
place where Dahmer
good
fails, is it's
movie.
not telling. Yeah.
I wonder
Dahmer,
if there's a serial killer out there that
it's
killed
just
people with cereal, and then you can spell it
oh
like
my
you
god.
spell breakfast cereal. That's just
Right.
that is
See,
all we've been talking about for the past little bit is serial killers and stuff, and that's just what's plaguing my
started
mind for
out
the
as
past like
fears.
45 like since we started talking about it
Yeah.
I just keep thinking about it.
Blueberry, go! Count Chocula!
The
Taste the
Count
rainbow?
Chocula Killer.
That's not for Blue. Hey kids, come in here. It's great. I'm telling you.
Tony the Tiger is a
But you
fucking
can't.
murderer.
Oh my god, if we get Winnie the Pooh, we're getting Tony the Tiger, man. Blood and Honey. Seen any trailers for that yet? Is that
Yeah,
you now?
I watched the first I watched the first trailer, and it just looks like a campy horror movie that's just dumb. It doesn't even make
Right.
sense to me. I don't think it's gonna be good by any means.
Right. No. It looks like a B rated or even a D. I think the thing that people are only looking at it for is for stop texting me. I'm getting the notifications. Fine, I'll shush. Let's keep on rambling here. Whatever.
You were going on a
That's an,
tangent here. You kind of just stopped.
what was I tangenting about? I forget. I can't sit here and repeat myself over and over about Dahmer and Zodiac and why one works and one doesn't. They just too sympathetic for Dahmer. Too sympathetic. Yes, you can show that oh he had a terrible life, but you can't make it. They do it in a way where it looks and feels justified. Oh, his father and mother left him, so he killed. Sure, yeah. Oh, his mother left him and he became really sad and depressed, and because he was sad and depressed, he started killing people. That's what you know what I mean? It's a bit different in that ooh, I just bumped my microphone. Sorry, listeners. Hate us all you want for our views, by the way. Go ahead, do it. We don't care. Ben might care. I don't care. I have my views. I don't know where Ben stands on this. I'm speaking for him right
I
now.
have views. I have views, but
Right.
I'm not. You know what I mean? It's just I find it's just better to cruise and just let people think what they want to think, and I'm not gonna tell them what I think. If someone asks me, obviously I'll tell them what I think, but
Right.
I'm not gonna do it in a way where someone feels like their opinion doesn't matter.
Do you think that we have stronger opinions about film than we do real life issues?
Oh,
I feel like
100%. I feel
I
like a
feel like
lot
we
of
can
people.
I feel like we can sit here and talk all we want about moral dilemmas and be like, well, but then when someone says their favorite Star Wars movie is not ours, we'll fucking attack them. That I find funny.
Mm, yeah, we have we think more about it, which is kind
Yeah.
of sad. I feel like maybe we'll grow out of. I don't want to fully grow out of it. I like to still hold on to
Yeah.
some of that childness.
Man, the thought of acting is so funny to me. Just people playing pretend and getting paid money for it. Clearly no different than you and me going out in your backyard picking up sticks and whacking them together. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Guess what? Your father was my mother. Prepare to die. Wait, what? It's my rendition of The Princess Bride. Have you seen that movie?
I
Yeah.
haven't either, but I don't know if I'm ever
Wait,
gonna watch it.
actually, it's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nah, yeah, that's what I've been told by a few people, and it's just. But I don't know if I want to watch another princess movie. I've seen plenty of princess
It's not
movies,
really a
and
princess movie. It's really not. I mean, it is, but it's also not. Oh my! I don't know. Last time I saw it, I was in like grade six. It was one of my favorites growing up. It was my sister's favorite movie of all time growing up.
was it?
I'm looking. I can see it, Ben. I can see it. When do you want to start? Come on, we're an hour in. We got to do this soon.
Yeah.
We're an hour
Unfortunately,
in
as
right now.
much as people might have liked to listen to us, we are
This one,
unfortunately getting towards the end of
this
this
one went by
episode.
fast.
Everything you say this, you said it the past couple times. It just
I know, but like I thought we would talk more about Fearson. Instead, we talked about Bryce Walker and Jeffrey Dahmer and
yeah,
aliens.
in
I mean, I
serial
guess that's
killers
still on the same
spelled as
topic.
in cereal, like breakfast serial killers. Which,
Yeah.
if there is one, I'm gonna do some deep research to try and find them. This is what I'm bringing to the table next episode. You all better be prepared. And if I don't find anything, you won't hear me say a single word about it.
Right.
But yeah, we are nearing towards the end. But wouldn't
Yeah.
you know it, we have more
We haven't.
poem, the continuation of our current storyline of poetry here. So if before we
Hold on. Can
leave,
I
you
do an
wanna.
intro? Can I please do this? I've always wanted to do this. Please let
Oh
me do this.
God, please just go, just do it.
You have followed them for the past 2 weeks. The Shark Police. What happens to them this time? You will find out on this episode of The Shark Police.
I thought it was all over the place.
No, we're doing The Shark Police right now.
So, do we
That's
just
the little
should I
segment.
should I change the podcast name? It just
No,
the
it's
way
the
you're
segment
making
of
it
the
sound
episode.
is like
It's the segment of the episode. It's like an episode within an episode of an episode and an episode. Community reference. Damn it, I did it again.
oh God. Anywho, would you like to carry us off into the wild blue yonder with this
The Shark
poem,
Police.
Alex?
Yes.
Mm.
Fort lockdown.
The sirens have alarmed.
Shot!
Help me! I'm drowning in poo.
The Shark Police can't handle.
This shitastrophe.
No, shit. To be continued. Stay tuned for the next episode of The Shark Police.
You didn't realize that there wasn't any more. I didn't type any more.
I'm sorry, I thought there was
He
more.
just decided to make up what he was gonna say. God.
To be continued next time. Anyways, it's been an hour. Holy shit.
It has been a very interesting up and down, all over the
Hour.
place
Oh,
episode
we
of
can't
all
even
over
call
the
this
place.
episode. We can't even call it The Art of Fear because we really didn't talk about it that much.
I wasn't gonna call it the art of fear.
Well, I don't know. I thought
Dip
you were gonna go for a
shit.
thing where you call everything
No,
the art
no,
of it.
no, no,
No.
no. And when you guys all listen to this, or Growls, or whoever, when you all listen to this, then you will know what the podcast is titled. But I don't know why we're sitting here arguing about it.
I don't
Anyways,
know.
I was
Uh,
Alex.
what?
I was Alec. I'm Alex in this
Oh,
episode. We decided this at the start.
did we? I didn't mean to. I'm Ben. Stay tuned for next time where we bring on our first guest host.
Yeah, he's gonna bring
It'll be pretty
hopefully
good.
a good dilemma question
Yeah.
and more fun. So you all have to
Yep.
stay tuned for next week. I'm
Yeah.
Alex.
I'm Ben, and this has been.
Place all the over.
What the fuck was that?
Just kidding. It was all over the place. We love you all, not in
No,
an
we don't.
intimate way. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, never mind. We do. If it's not intimate, we do. I
Yeah.
thought you were telling them all that we want to.
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Do you think
Okay.
that when you love someone, you just immediately want to get in their pants? Is that what you were going for?
Obviously.
You know people are asexual, right?
Yeah.
And don't feel sexual feelings and can feel love.
Me talking about this is ironic, isn't it?
A little bit.